have a special guest in the building for the second part of episode 282, right?
282.
We got Dr. Viviana Coles, which we personally met on the
Nightcap.
pilot episode of the Nightcap.
Yes.
And now we've all been regulars at some point on the Nightcap.
Over a year ago.
Has it been over a year?
Yes.
Over a year. Yeah.
I'm the reason why she's here today.
Yes. See?
Yeah, see, we're going to turn it into a positive.
Right,
but the negative was you can't read.
Trying to say that shit.
But while I read real quick, Dr. Viviana Coles, America's intimacy expert with 20 plus years of experience, holds a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's and doctoral degree in marriage and family therapist, and is a certified sex therapist, which is probably what our audience cares about the most. They want to know what's up. They want to know what's up.
Care about that the most.
You're located here in Texas, California, New York, and Florida.
Yes, so I'm licensed in all of those, but I'm from Houston. I have my practice here in Houston.
Okay.
Where I am.
So you are local.
Where I am, yeah.
Okay. Released your book, The 4 Intimacy Styles in 2021, the key to lasting physical intimacy, to help singles and couples learn how to get and maintain a satisfying sexual connection in long-term relationships. More recently, you launched Vivid Relationships, which is a matchmaking agency to help reverse engineer healthy, happy relationships from the very start. In 2003, you've exclusively been focusing on couples since then. And she was also on seasons 9 to 14 of the hit show Married at First Sight. Married at First Sight Unmatchables, where she's now currently on Fox Houston's intimacy expert. So please give it up for Dr. Viviana Coles.
Thanks for having me.
No. So please introduce yourself also while we finish our quiz, because we'll start probably with one of your most latest things, the book. So
awesome. So I'm Dr. Viviana, affectionately known that way on all platforms. Super excited about love in general. I just really think that choosing a partner to spend life with is probably the most important decision that you can make, and how to keep that going and how to keep that connection. I feel like a lot of that needs to be physically as well as emotionally. And that's where we all, at some point we trip up. So I have focused my practice, Houston Relationship Therapy, on keeping couples happy and satisfied, or helping them to get there if they're not there. And I've been doing that since 2003. So I'm really excited. I love everything about love. It's so rewarding. And of course, the sex stuff is just fun. It is so fun. And we've already cracked up so many times already.
Oh, yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. So Casey,
you
got something on you. What's going on, bro? You got a story? Like, I know we were there together. So we met her first. Yeah, we met her first.
Mm-hmm. So my wife and I watched Married at First Sight. And that's how we knew you. And I remember when we was in the green room, my wife and I didn't say a word. Like, you just stood up. And then my wife and I locked eyes. And I was like, and like, you left the room. And then we just said, like, at the very same time, I didn't know she was holding like that. As Married at First Sight didn't do you service. Because honest to God, I was like, because I thought I was going to get in trouble, but she was thinking the same thing, because we watched, she put me on the show. And so I was like, yeah, I didn't know, because I just know you. And then I was like, the little old white lady, and then the black guy.
Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal.
Dr. Pepper, yeah. And I was like, yo, I didn't know. She was like, I didn't either. And so,
there's no way that we were in a green room and we were not talking. There's no way.
I got late. I got there late.
I was talking. I think it was just you and I.
It was him, and Kent too was there.
We're always talking,
and my wife was there.
How funny. Okay.
Yeah, and then so I got there late, and then like you was just we met, and then you was just like leaving. It was brief.
Well, y'all, I'm a Latina. This is what happens.
Yeah,
I'm half Colombian, half Mexican, but I was born in Houston.
So you're a Houstonian.
Of course, yeah.
What side of town?
Usually more west side, like Spring Branch, Memorial, Oak Forest area, like that area.
Okay.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Duchesne Academy, the all-girls school. And let me tell y'all why.
Okay.
Look at all your faces just went, what?
Yeah.
Because how you get to, go ahead.
Let me tell you. So in 6th grade, I met my now husband. He was in 7th
grade.
We met the first day of 6th. Damn. He was in 7th grade. We were together instantly. I just fell in love. He fell in love. First kiss, first love, first all of that. We got caught kissing in the chapel. And that day, my parents took me out of that school.
Sins.
2 days later, they sent me to the all-girls school. And I was there. And of course, no phones, no like cars or anything. So we broke up.
So you've known your husband since 6th grade.
Yeah, since 6th grade.
And he was the reason that you ended up at an all-girls school.
That's right. Yeah. And now our daughter's there.
Dang, that's
there.
a
I have
crazy
a
story.
follow-up question. So you said y'all broke up. How long
Yes.
was the breakup?
Like over 10 years. We had our own lives.
Okay.
had
Okay.
Whole worlds apart. And that's when I went to school, had other relationships, like all, fortunately, because who knows what would have happened if we stayed together, but I'm glad we didn't because I needed to make my own way. I needed to have my own thing. He needed to as well. He needed to grow up.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And it worked out really nicely. We're going to be celebrating 17 years married this year.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
That's great.
All right, so let's get into you being the intimacy expert. Let's kind of see, where did all that start? How did you get involved in this as you started your practice, et cetera?
Well, I'm not going to go all the way back to 6th grade, but I will say I truly believe that love is possible, even at a young age. My parents were like, when we got back together, that we call it the second round, they were like, we knew that if y'all stayed together, you would have either ended up married as a teen or pregnant or something, because y'all were like, we could tell it was very intense.
In the 6th grade?
Even in the I know, y'all, it's crazy. We have kids that are older than that now, and we're like, oh my gosh, how do we do that?
Not really, because in the 6th grade, my girlfriend got pregnant.
We just talked about this.
Yeah.
It wasn't mine. Like, I wasn't having sex.
Okay, gosh, there's a lot to unpack there. Just
See?
know.
And he talked about it's not
yeah.
trauma. Like, let me, since I got you here.
Yeah.
My girlfriend at the time, we dated. And like, she was like my first kiss, tongue kiss,
it's
everything.
So strong.
2-3 months later, she's pregnant. My dumb ass thought I was the father.
But you didn't have intercourse.
We didn't have sex, no. And then she was like, no, I cheated on you. And then so I was like, oh, what that? I said something else.
I feel my heart breaks for you.
Don't
she got
break.
pregnant
Do
by
not
a
break for
grown
him.
man.
He deserved it.
Oh my God.
Because that's
your saliva.
What do you mean
was
he
that strong?
deserved it?
Bro, I did not
know what?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
that's
how
true.
about
That's
this?
true.
You lucked out. That
I
you,
did.
You dodged a bullet because
I saw on Facebook. I definitely
Oh
dodged
my
the bullet. You know what I'm
gosh.
saying?
What?
I did. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her
okay,
though.
I hope she is doing fabulous and she
Thank you.
That's
she
what I
is
said. Shout out to her.
thriving.
That's
and
too
you are
late.
too.
You just said you
Shout
saw
out
her.
after insulting her.
Okay.
She cheated on me.
Is there going to be a lot of cut that going on here?
No, we
don't
don't do
do
that.
that.
We don't do that. All right, so back to you
going
knowing.
back to,
Yeah.
So I've always believed in love. My parents have always been that couple that you're like, oh my gosh, like get a room.
Yeah.
Not that they're overtly sexual, but we've always known, like my brother and I, that we are not number one in there. They're our number one to each other. And that example helped me to realize, like, gosh, that's true, because kids move out of the house and they get their own lives and hopefully they experience love. So for me, it was like, I truly believe in relationships and love and the power of going through life together. So I go into high school. My college advisor asked me what I want to do, what I need to study. And I said, she goes, what do you like to do? I said, I love to talk. She's like, of course you do. We all know that. It's on all your report cards. But what do you like to talk about? I said, I don't know. I mean, my friends, they always talk to me about their relationships because I'm the one who had experiences with, relationships at the time at that age. And I'm like, but that's not a job. She's like, yes, it is. That's a job. When you go to school, study sociology and psych and let me know what you think. And I was just boom. I was so boom and so on it. I graduated college in 3 years because I knew I still had to get my master's and my doctorate.
Yeah.
The master's is the terminal degree. So that's what you have to have in order to get licensed.
Okay.
That's what
But I did my doctorate because that was something that my parents had always said. If you're going to go to school and you're going to go for it, just go all the way.
Yeah.
'Cause you can charge more. And yes, that's true.
Okay.
Smart.
So you knew from an early age that you liked relationships.
Yes.
When did you know you would be able to help people with relationships? Because that's a different thing.
You're absolutely right. I can tell you, it was probably my second year in my master's when I was seeing clients, and everyone in my cohort would hate to have a couple on their roster, and I loved it.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't understand why y'all hate it so much. It's so much more engaging when there's more than one person in the room. And they're like, but it's so much more difficult. I loved the challenge. I loved being able to tell somebody, hold on, just let them talk, or like, this is great that you're showing me this. And I just love that. And then it wasn't until I went through my certification program as a sex therapist that I realized, I really enjoy talking to people about intimacy, and they really don't mind talking about it with me. Maybe they don't like talking about it, but they don't mind. And now everybody that comes to see me knows we're going to talk about sex at some point.
Yeah.
There's no question, and they appreciate that, and I do too.
I got a question for you, Dr. V. With you having all this knowledge, right, in your personal life, how do you apply it?
Oh, that's a great question.
Do you screen people? Like, do you?
I thought he was about to ask me if I screen.
Yeah. Come on with
Screen.
it.
No, not if you screen.
He said
screen. We are inappropriate, but not that inappropriate. I mean,
No.
My husband.
he might see this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, before the husband, because you said you had relationships before that.
Yeah.
So, tell me. What's the matter, bro?
the screen.
I am planning on making all of y'all blush
Screen,
at some
not
point.
screen.
Okay.
You ain't gonna make me blush.
We wild.
She don't know our sponsor.
Yeah. You know, we pretty wild.
We got a sponsor now.
Yeah.
We about to get real in this hole.
Oh my God. So tell me about that, Dr.
Yeah.
Like, do you apply it? Do you apply all the knowledge? I'm sure you do, but how do you?
Yeah, I try because, I'm not just a therapist. I'm also a woman. I'm also a mom. I have lots of stressors. And, as a business owner, y'all know what that's like. But I think the part of it that I try to really stay very focused on is this idea of don't let anything build up. So my husband gets that question more than I do. Like, what's it like being married to a relationship therapist or a sex therapist? And he's like, I think the number one thing that we do is we just deal with things like right away, like right then, instead of thinking, well, like, it'll get better, or, I'll let this slide. So really, truly, I like to think, and he's told me he agrees, that we just don't let things sweep under the rug. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Because guess what? There's something else that's going to come up. I mean, this is just how life is. And so if you let it all build up, then it ends up being a huge problem. So just deal with it right away. That's the number one thing. And then I try to keep my advice, like what I tell other couples, is that they should do something sensual or sexual at least twice a week. Try to do that. We touch each other a lot. Like,
Twice
we're
a
very
day for me.
touchy. We're
Twice a day.
drink some more water. You need to hydrate.
Ain't too horny.
Somebody
Hydrate.
give me a bottle of
You know
water before
what
I
I'm
turn
saying?
up, man.
What was you about to say, JC?
Well, I was just saying, like that. Everybody got a job to do, but like I don't think what your job is something that is I guess just like damn, what can I say?
You lost it?
Yeah, no, I didn't lose it. I'm just trying to say it the right way. Like this is a part of human life.
Yes.
So it's just and you're preaching that. So it's just like y'all are just taking what works for y'all into your household like everybody else. So what is, like, you just kind of like treat it as what can I diagnose, like like you're a doctor, like what can I diagnose this person because I have the knowledge, and it's not that you're taking all of that knowledge, because people just think that you're holier than thou just because you're preaching this.
No,
but it's just like, no, everybody has their own challenges in their household.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
I
what works
wish
for
I
y'all,
could
that's
do
why when you said
everything
something about your husband, he's just saying, man, we just, we have dinner like everybody else. We have sex like everybody else.
And we
like,
argue at times.
Yeah,
and
we just do what we do
dry
in our
spells
household.
sometimes,
Yeah.
But the truth is, I think what makes it a little bit different, that I just know because I've talked to so many people about it, is that we try to like do something about it right away. If he's upset about something, if he's feeling disconnected, or the other way around, usually it's more like him because I my head's everywhere and I'm just like always doing something. He's very much like, hey, we need to connect this weekend. Hey, let's go out on a date. Hey, let's do this. Or, put that down. Let's go on a walk.
And that's him bringing you down to earth. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it's just like a natural thing.
It's become more natural because when we met the second time around, I was already a sex therapist. I was already working.
Interesting. So he had to deal with that
from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Which is really difficult for sex therapists who are single. A lot of them really struggle more so because people expect them to either be like total nymphomaniacs or to be judging their partners, to be like evaluating them all the time. That is not true. I mean, y'all, it's not like we're this all the time.
Of course.
When I'm not on the clock, I'm not on the clock,
I quickly spoke to a porn star in Vegas one time.
Yeah.
What
And
is
they thought
that?
the same thing, right?
They said I quickly, like, man. And they was my dumb ass at the time, I said something, man, what's your personal life? They're like, man, look, like we do exactly, that's work for me. So it's just like, I have a boyfriend. They do, whatever. And she the whole on camera, but she
I don't
just
think
having
these are
sex.
similar jobs.
It's more
though.
I'm just saying, like,
but it's more vanilla.
yeah, like it's
Agreed.
Like
a
there's
job.
normalcy and then there's when you're on.
When you dealing with somebody in real life, you take on real life things. You got feelings. Your husband has feelings.
Yeah.
And y'all make it work.
Yeah, and I mess up a lot. I do. I'm the person who's always phubbing, right? We talk about it on the show. Phone snubbing.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm so bad at that. I'm always looking. Can I have a little session?
You got it. You got it.
I just figured it out. I was telling him because he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're always on your phone." I'm like, "I know, but let me tell you why. Because my phone is where a ton of opportunities come in, and my phone is like where I find out that y'all want to have me on."
Yeah.
And that's happening at least 20, 30 times a week.
Yeah.
It's hard to not be checking for those things and telling my team, like, please respond right away. Please respond right away. Because guess what? As with anything else, if you don't respond right away, there's a chance that they're going to move on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If you want something, you have to be ready to receive it. So, yeah, it's tough. And that's probably one of the bigger issues is just trying to find some sort of a balance to where we can be ourselves, but I can also work and be at home a lot. It's a lot.
So how did Married at First Sight come around?
I made it happen.
Okay. How did that happen?
Okay, so I had been doing a ton of local Houston stuff, especially with Houston Life.
Okay.
I love Houston Life. They are where I got my start, really, and the CW39. And from putting all of that online and them finding me online, production companies started reaching out to me. And they're like, hey, we want to put some shows on. We need somebody. We need an expert who can do TV, and we want to try to sell shows. That never happened. That took I was doing that for about 2 or 3 years until I finally thought, well, what if I were to reach out and try to make it happen? And literally, I looked up like relationship reality TV shows and kinetic content from Married at First Sight and Love is Blind and The Ultimatum and all sorts of stuff. They showed up and I was like, oh, they have a lot of shows already on the air. They know what they're doing. Found them on LinkedIn, reached out to the casting director, the casting associate, and the next day they emailed. They're like, oh my gosh, yes, we absolutely want to meet with you. By like the next 2 days, I had a meeting with them. It was 2 years later when there became an opening. So for 2 years, we were trying all sorts of different stuff, and it just didn't happen until there was an opening on Married at First Sight. And because I had reached out to them, because whenever I was in LA, I would stop in and say hi. Because when they were filming in Dallas, I went up to Dallas to say hi. I was right there because they met me in person. Everybody else, is Skype, and you don't really get to know somebody. So I was right at the top, and I was very fortunate because it was amazing. Such a fun experience.
I knew the guy that was in Dallas.
Which one?
Tristan.
Oh, yeah.
We played against each other in high school.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so I wasn't on that season, but I remember that because there was some drama, a lot of drama.
It was
So how
terrible.
real is reality TV?
I cannot speak for any other shows, really. This one is very real.
Okay.
Like,
so they really are trying to get married.
What?
Oh, they're married. Yeah,
They're
legally
married.
Because
married.
they was here. They were here.
Yeah, season 13
This
was
the
here.
one with the neck, the no neck dude?
No, that's Love
That's
No. 90
90
Day
Day
Fiancé.
Fiancé. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
no
sorry.
Nick
I don't.
No Nick
I watched
his
Love
name
is Blind
Big
and
Ed.
Ultimatum.
Yes,
I watched
call
I
those.
him
love that one
Nick
too. So yes, they really get married.
They do.
That's legal and it's right away. They really have not ever seen each other or met any. The only thing they might know about each other, and actually I don't think they do that. Maybe is their ring size because they need to pick a ring.
Yeah.
But other than that, they meet and marry at the altar, and we have matched them. It is not easy. Everybody thinks like, oh, I would have done this, or I would have done that. Okay, I understand. That's the fun of watching the show. If any show really is giving your own opinion.
Yeah.
But they think, that we didn't. I wish sometimes that we didn't, that we could just be like, no, it was production. Because some of the matches, of course,
Are not good
burn.
I got a
matches.
question.
Yeah.
Wait.
Some
They
of them are
crash
not
and
good.
burn. But it's very real. And what they go through is very real. Now, how they put it together on camera, they have to tell a good story.
Yeah.
Just like with this interview, you're probably going to produce it and edit it and just to make sure that it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have a question. And with them making a story, like I remember specifically the Houston and Atlanta. Atlanta one, it was the guy.
Wild
The guy.
Chris
Yeah, him.
and Paige.
that guy, how did him wowing y'all with his story compared to the ending? Like, how did that work in real time?
I lost so much faith in people based off of the difference.
Damn, that bad?
He
It
was
was so
terrible,
bad.
bro.
Okay.
Like,
was so
I always
bad.
try to root for, like, the black couple.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He was a horrible human being.
Damn.
Like, he was
So
terrible.
bad. It was
Damn.
so bad.
What I was gonna say, how does one get to the point where they need to have love at first sight or have a
Yeah.
process in front of them so they can go to and find love? How does one get to that point?
I need it.
I was about to say, how can we get Phil on the next?
Let's see, Phil.
Let me.
I'm just saying, how does a person get to the point where they need assistance to find love?
I'm having
Tell us,
problems,
Phil.
Dr. V.
What are they? You got it here now.
I've been a player all my life, Dr. V.
In what
I
sense?
don't want to
And
be
you
a
want to get
player
off the
no more.
streets? Uh-huh.
Who seen that?
I don't want to be a player.
Big Joe,
no
Big Pun.
more.
That's Joe.
That's Joe.
Big Joe, I was
And
funny.
That's the
Pun.
remix.
It's the remixes.
Pens on it too.
But yeah,
people
man,
people need to stop
Let's get back to you,
disrespecting
Phil.
Joe.
Back to Phil.
Back
I
to
measure
Phil.
my dick with
Tell
6
it.
rulers.
Back to Phil. Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead, Phil.
That's
yeah,
what
so
it said.
I want love. I really do.
Why you wait? Hold on.
No, thank you, Nancy.
No, we
Thank
don't
you,
need
When
that.
I'm alone in my
We
room,
don't
sometimes
need
I
that.
stare
I
at
need
the
that. I
wall
need
and
that.
it
Go ahead,
affecting
go ahead,
my
go ahead.
mind.
But no, I want love. I really do. I even wanted love in my past relationship. But it's hard dealing with the temptation of other women. It's like when they gave Forrest Gump the box of chocolates, right? He got the box. It's so many flavors.
You never know what
sizes.
you're going to get, boy.
You never know. For me, it's always been good.
I am happy
God
for
blesses
you,
me.
Phil. I am happy
but I'm
for you.
tired of it, Dr. V. I just need one woman.
They
okay?
got a hold on me.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. V been doing content around open relationships
That's
too.
right.
So is that a concept that you think in hearing him in his conversation now, is that something he should explore?
Okay. So
And answer my
here's-
question.
No, we're past yours. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm saying how
No, yeah, we let him go. Go ahead, yeah.
I can answer your question and then I'm going to answer Phil.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing. When you are out there, especially in your 30s, there is a time crunch that a lot of women especially will start to feel where they think, okay, if I want to have kids or if I want to have a house or whatever within the next 5 years, I need to have met that person right now, not dating for the next 2 or 3 years. Or maybe in their 30s, they have been dating people for over a decade and they're like, oh my gosh, I was with somebody that I thought I was going to marry. And then all of a sudden I find out he's got like another life with somebody else. I don't want to start over. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many of y'all are single, but it is really hard out there. It's really hard.
Tell me
And
about it.
and that's another thing. My husband and I hold on real
the only
tight
one.
because we're like, okay, so when, let me turn a little bit. So this is the thing. It's one of those issues is that when you're out there and you're trying to find somebody, it's going to take a lot of time to really figure out, usually, if this is the right person. So they come to us because we're matchmaking. We're looking at they have to answer, I want to say it's like 300, 500 item questionnaires. We meet their families. We go to their homes. We do visits.
I mean, they
do all
damn near
sorts of
didn't
stuff.
finish the intimacy quiz. You think he's gonna do a 300 question questionnaire?
Yeah, I ain't got time.
And what does that have to do with like not physical connection, but like energy when you're around that person? All that questionnaire shit.
So that's what makes this a social experiment.
Gotcha.
Is that we don't know what's going to happen once they're actually together. We hope, and we are like, every time there would be a wedding, we're like, oh my gosh, what happened? Did they kiss? Did they? How did the family? Because that's the part that we don't know.
Yeah.
That's the X factor. Now, there has been, like
That's
when
why
I was
AI
on,
some bullshit.
my seasons at the time, it was like almost 30% success rate.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Since then, who knows what has happened? But when it works out really nicely. And so then somebody like Bill will be like, "Hey, let's I want to try this because at worst case scenario, you do have a divorce on your hands, right? Or if you were a real jerk, which you're not,
No, I'm not.
then maybe you get a lot of hate on social. But at best, you just met your wife and you are like well on your way to, because they say those 8 weeks that they're together before they get to decide if they want to stay married or get a divorce is like 2 years of marriage.
Wow.
They get to know each other
because
well.
you're so connected during that time.
So and it's all about that. So it's worth it.
And when one gets older, I think, would you say that the criteria for themselves like trickles down to like what they really need, and not the whole glitz and glamour, fine and
the opposite.
Okay.
I think that as people get older, they become even more rigid about what they're willing to bring into their lives or not, and it makes it that much harder.
So are you encountering that then? Our player. That,
I don't want to be listed as a player.
That's what you just said.
No,
you just said that.
That's what you said. I said in what context?
You're reformed.
Yeah, there you go. I'm
reformed.
myself.
Okay.
As of right now.
As of today.
Yeah. No, I've been doing it. But listen, that's besides the point. What you said about being single is way harder. You know, in a relationship, I was in a great relationship, right? And I would always think about, what if I was single? You know, I think every man has that thought of...
You have FOMO. You have fear of missing out.
I did have fear.
A lot of men really end up cutting themselves off at the knees because they're thinking, well, what if the next one is better at this? What if the next one brings this out of me? What if the next one, the next one, the next one? And meanwhile, life is going by. And that's okay. But just know, like, what I would suggest for someone like you who's saying, I need to stop that. I want you to start focusing on what it is that you get outside of sex from a relationship, so that you can see where the value is. Because right now, if you're jumping from partner to partner, you're getting that new relationship energy. I talk about it in my book. Yeah. Where it is literally your brain chemistry is keeping you very excited. But the minute that you very naturally move into something that is longer term and more sustainable as far as your brain chemistry, you're like, well, let me meet somebody new.
Yeah, I'm not in the process of jumping from partner to partner. And this is backwards, I must admit. I'm not in the process of jumping from partner to partner now. But when I was in a relationship, I was jumping from partner to partner.
Okay. We got to hear it. Go.
And I knew I was doing wrong, but I couldn't help myself. It's like when you pop Pringles and they say...
You can't just have one.
Exactly. Don't judge me, please. I'm trying to... I'm having a real session right here.
Close your eyes. It's just you and me. Just close your eyes.
So, even though I didn't want to do it, I didn't want to. I think the ego... My ego was getting the best of me. Yeah. It was like, let me just...
That's true.
Let me see if I can.
Let me see if I can.
That's true.
We'll always get you in trouble when it comes to this, because he's looking for the conquest. He's looking to see, can I still entice someone? Can I still catch someone?
That was it.
It's all about that thrill of the chase. Sickness. And once you catch her, then you break her heart.
Sickness.
It's sick. I'm for real. For men out there, dude, it's sick. It really is.
Well, and let me tell you, I end up seeing the result of men like you, and I'm saying that with
no.
I know you're trying to
need
change,
the help. Yeah,
but you have probably long term done some emotional damage to these women that they go and they try to date somebody else, and they're leaving with all of the issues that you left them, and now they end up not being able to really have fun in the new relationships.
Bro, I can see the comments now.
Man. Let me get up.
Wait. What did you say?
I just want to say I'm sorry to the people. Yeah, to the ladies. Yeah,
and for the audience, they're gonna probably be like, "Man, yeah, these three are kicking while he do this." Like we've told,
we know him.
Yeah, we know him.
Like we've had this discussion.
Yeah,
so for him to like,
but we need it in this setting too.
And he's with a professional.
Exactly.
You know
we're not professional.
So mind you, I got my counseling degree as well, but I haven't done those hours. I can't. I just my mind is not there.
We need to talk.
Yes, help me out.
Okay.
But
well, that's the thing. You need to figure out.
As long as it gets through, is good. But it's just funny.
But it's more of him saying it though.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and I think I told y'all this on an episode before. All of y'all advice has helped me.
No doubt. You have said that.
Turn the corner. You know what I'm saying? But when you have somebody that you know is professional, deals with this, and you have 20 years of experience, 17 plus years, of course I want to get the opportunity to, you know,
I
if
feel,
yeah.
and if you, this is what I was gonna say was when guys are players like that, or just been in the streets and just did their thing in
I'm
the
not a
streets.
prostitute.
I'm not talking about you.
Okay.
Nigga, I'm talking about just, nigga,
Prior
we
to me
all
getting
been in there.
married,
We
I was
all,
a hoe.
Let him finish.
I'm just saying, we all been out there. I'm just saying, when you've been out there and you was a live dude out there and you still want more after you made a commitment, that's selfish. That's some
But that's
bullshit.
where I was asking. So a lot of her content now is around open relationships. You have been talking about that. You recently had the post on your Instagram. Is that could that be a conversation for someone like him?
It could be but you have to communicate more in an open relationship. So it's not a huge part of what I do, because the truth is, like, only 8% of open relationships are successful.
Okay.
Whatever that's defined by, who knows? But it takes so much more open communication. It takes so much more work to really make that work for everybody involved. Yeah. And that's why I brought it up as a topic, because so many people just throw it out there like, I wonder if consensual non-monogamy is for me. And that's the piece that I think is missing for a lot of people. It's that it's consensual, meaning that all parties are aware and understand and this isn't just it's not just cheating. It's actually non-monogamy that you are very intentional about. And I think it takes more communication, and it takes something called compersion. Compersion is the ability to be actually authentically happy for your partner when they're sexually being satisfied by someone else.
Oh no, I can't.
And that was my next question. I was going to say, in your experience, and is it always, does that conversation come up from one person to the other, or is that like they connected on that realm?
Well, it depends.
thinking.
If they're meeting like on an online forum where it's all about people who know that they're open and want to have that, then it's kind of like coming to a sex therapist. You know what you're going to talk about.
But you're 10 years in and you want more. Like, so is that usually like one person's thinking something and they just bring it up?
Yes, usually.
Or
and
they
that's
just
the
both
same
know.
way with like kink and S&M and things like that, where one person's like, I wonder what this would be like. Or I used to do this in a previous relationship. I kind of want to bring it into this one.
Yeah, you look.
But depending on how you do that, it
That's
can
what I'm
either
saying.
be something that really, it could be like a bomb going off, or it could just be something where it's like, no, this isn't really for me. Or it's well, let me think more about it. Let me learn more about it. And that's when they usually come to see me to figure it out.
And
there are so many things you need to consider before even thinking about opening up your relationship.
Like,
one of the things that I brought up in my post was this idea of people don't think about the money.
Yeah.
Like, dating costs money. And what if you're spending more money on your new, your third, and you start to feel like, well, wait a minute, you're spending $20,000, this first 3 months on your partner. And meanwhile, we can't go on that vacation you promised. Things like that happen. And that's just one thing. What happens if somebody sees you out and you're not cheating, but somebody sees you out and all of a sudden it's like now you're opening, you're outing. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's impossible.
Yeah.
But we're still very much in a monogamous sort of society, and it doesn't work for everyone. Okay. And I think a lot of people do try to force themselves into monogamy when that's not what they want and that's not what really works for them. But they force it because that's been the norm, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay, Doc, let's stay right there. I want to get nasty for a second.
I'm gonna walk.
Mr. Nasty time.
I'm gonna move over a little.
No, not like that. Not like that. But tell us how important sex is within a relationship. That's what I want to know, because you'll talk to women. Yeah, so sex is important to me. Sex is important to me. I can deal with someone who doesn't please me sexually. It's BS.
They talking about the first date.
I'm talking about period. Tell us how important sex is within a relationship.
It's what makes your relationship different than any other relationship that you have. Your doctor can see you naked. You can cuddle and sleep with your dog. Your friends might, say, I love you. Like, all of those things can happen. But it's the one thing that when you're in a monogamous relationship that you only do with each other. And that's what makes it sacred. And that's what makes it come back, like, where we've got a little secret. Yeah. We've got this little thing between us.
You're my little
That's the song right there. Yeah, you're right.
So that's when you say, if that is missing from a relationship, or if it's not satisfying, or if it's like this kind of like no fly zone, that's when people start to say, wait, am I with the right person? And then they start questioning everything. And now every argument is not just an argument that you're dealing with that. It's, oh, and you did this, and you never go down on me, and it's always something.
Is that what you see mostly with your couples? Do they come in because they've got a sex issue?
Yeah, usually it's, or affair recovery.
Okay.
That's a lot of conflict resolution issues, people fighting really ugly and they don't want to do it anymore. Yeah. But sex, it's usually a sexual desire discrepancy, which is just another way of saying one person wants more than the other, and it's problematic.
She doesn't want to do anal, right? Like that type of shit.
No, not so much
I mean, that's next level, though.
No, I'm just saying.
Not so much the activities themselves, because people can get like that on Cosmo, you know? Like you can,
I'm just asking the question the listeners was thinking about.
Well, and I think a lot of people have asked about, you know, how do we even explore anal? I really enjoy it, or I enjoyed it with my other partner, but I haven't done. A lot of people don't realize how it's very difficult to do that if it's just a one-off, one-night stand. Looking at you, I'm just kidding.
I'm good on that shit. Just so we clear. Yeah,
but it's something that actually works out so much better if you are in a steady and monogamous relationship, because it takes preparation.
Okay.
If you want it to feel good, if you want it to go well, and you want to avoid preparation H, then you do need to work on it as a couple and have like preparation that moves towards that. And so I can help people with that.
I'm good on that.
I'm good. Yeah, we good. I think.
What's the most thing that you might help people with? I know you mentioned conflict resolution. What are the most things you do?
Well, I would say, I mean, it is the sex stuff. It's that my partner, that I don't feel appreciated. They don't show that they care. A lot of men really, they come in and they're often in tears when we start talking about it. They're like, I just don't feel wanted, and I want to feel wanted. I need that to be a part of us. And when I don't feel wanted, I don't want you. And so that's a huge issue that comes up. And a lot of women are like, wait, what? Why don't you feel wanted? Well, you never initiate. Like, I'm just not used to it. If you're going to be with somebody for 20 plus, 30 plus years, and they're always the one initiating, because I have to tell women, I'm like, you're just taking advantage of the fact that you think he always wants you and that he doesn't need you to show him that you want him. Absolutely wrong. Again, a topic in the book, because a lot of women are like, well, I just wasn't raised that way, or he's supposed to chase me. Not for 20 plus, 30 plus.
Yeah,
y'all in a relationship.
See, that's that's that shade room comment shit.
Yeah. And then what happens is that another woman might come along, whether he's open to it or not, and show interest.
He's open to it.
And if he's starving because he's been in the desert,
she's open to it.
He might open his eye to it. And that's not always the case. And it's not an excuse, because I will say this 100%. It's a choice to cheat on somebody. Of course. You can do all sorts of stuff prior to doing that. And that is probably one of the worst things that I see, is that a lot of people will have multiple affairs, constantly just throwing that bomb off in the relationship and thinking like, well, we'll figure it out. No, you won't. Every time your relationship is eroding and eroding and eroding, and you won't have that 30, 40 plus marriage where you actually want to be together.
Yeah.
It's just like you're stuck together, and that's awful.
I got a question for you, right? So I had a situation with a young lady, right? And I didn't even have to touch this woman for her to have an orgasm. If she
heavyweight
Brown in 1987.
No, it's real, because I've always wanted to ask, because
Champion
I
of the
had
world.
no one to ask, right?
Nigga, you asked us.
Y'all don't got no answers for me, man.
I can. Okay, what is your question?
Okay. So one day I go to this young lady's house. She opens the door. Mm-hmm. She instantly saw her having an orgasm. Uh-huh. And I'm like, man, I'm thinking something is wrong. What's wrong with you? Mm-hmm. And she's trying to talk to me and tell me, I'm having an orgasm right now. I'm lost. But at the same time, my ego is blown up to another level.
Okay, can I burst your bubble?
Go. Uh-huh.
It's probably something called PGAD, which is persistent genital arousal disorder.
Oh.
And it is a very, very traumatic neuro disorder where they have persistent orgasms to the point where a lot of them will commit suicide.
Oh, you like Eddie Kane Jr.
Man, hold on.
You
done turned it into CTE.
Hold hold on.
yeah,
Hold on, Doc. Hold on, Doc.
That's it, man.
Damn, Phil.
Hold on. Let's really back in. Hold on.
It's too late.
Because she ain't committing no suicide. Hold on.
He was back.
No,
Come on, it ain't.
it's not. No,
Come on, Phil.
PGAT is not funny. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it probably wasn't you.
No, hold on. Okay. Because we had sex several times, right?
Hold on, we didn't know this part of the story.
Let him finish.
I'm telling the doc, man.
Let him finish.
So
Let him finish. Don't say nothing. Let him go.
We had sex
Goddamn.
several times before, and she was a very what do I want to say? Orgasmic person.
Yeah,
she
sounds
did
like
have those, right? And so this specific time, though, this happened. And then it continued to happen for like 6 months.
Okay.
And I was just like, but then it stopped.
But we're not talking about like multiple a day just randomly.
No,
it
not
was
multiple
it was
a day.
around
It was
you.
just around me.
Okay, so bravo to this woman because she
Power
became she made associations between you and she was able to really access her fantasy file, which is something that a lot of men do so much more easily and readily accessible than women do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always trying to help women to say like, hey, if you allowed sexual thoughts to just hang out a fraction of a percentage as much as men do, we would not have the same issues.
Ludacris had a song called "What's Your Fantasy."
That is true.
Do you want it in the
You
bedroom?
gonna get universal hate for that though.
But what?
No, he ain't gonna get no hate. He ain't gonna get no-
Who do you think he is?
So what tips would you give men then? I mean, our audience is probably 50-50, but what tips would you give for men as it relates to intimacy and sex? What would you say?
I would say don't make it such a like the biggest deal. That way your partner can start to kind of hold the flag for it sometimes. If you're always ready, if you're always saying I'm there, if you're always showing up, if you're always thinking about it, if you're always doing that, then your partner can't feel like they can move towards you. They can't meet you anywhere because you're right there. It's like when you open the door, she's right there. You know, like if that happened every single time, at some point you'd probably be like, okay, do I need to be here?
I don't know, Doc.
Hold on, but what you talking about in interaction?
Yeah, like emotionally, if you're a man,
if I'm standing hard at attention, and when you're ready, then that just means I'm ready. When you're ready.
Yes, but if that's always the case, then she doesn't have to try. She doesn't even have to do anything or think about it because she knows that you're already there.
No,
she can't surprise you. She can't be spontaneous because you're just like.
No, she can. It's just you know that it's gonna be ready, right?
Man, brother, you
got too much testosterone.
No, I mean,
but that's not slowing her ideas down or her fantasies down. You just know that your partner is gonna be ready for you when you want it.
Well, I think
because if I wasn't ready, that'll piss you off.
But the fact that you are makes me think I'm not special.
She's just a vessel.
Interesting.
She's just a vessel.
Yeah, that's what
she's saying.
Like it doesn't matter who it is, unless you were to tell her, "Oh my gosh, I'm thinking about you right now," or "I'm looking at this photo of you." Then she's just thinking, "Well, he's always ready for sex." It doesn't matter who it is.
Well, no, we ain't talking. I'm talking about when you're ready to be sexual or show me something or whatever you're doing. If I like, baby, that's cool, but I work late. Like I ain't there right now. Mm-hmm. And I won't even give you the performance you're looking for. So I'm just saying, like, wouldn't you want your husband to be ready when you ready?
Well, if I'm going to be with somebody long term, and this is another thing,
and then we can talk biological, like,
it's like robots.
Answer.
We're not robots.
And then you will go again. Let her go.
I'm just saying.
We're not
I'm trying
robots.
to break it down so she can understand.
We don't
what I'm saying.
expect you to be a robot. So this whole expectation that you have to be erect or you have to have enough, like if you're trying to be with somebody long term, they need to recognize that there are going to be times where you're not feeling it, and it has nothing to do with your feelings for her, or it could, but that you're going to share that if that's the case. I just don't want men to ever feel like that's all that really matters is their ability to get an erection, because there will come a time where you're going to have to look at other ways to pleasure each other that don't revolve around an erection. And you want to have had those conversations long before it happens. And that's okay. And you are more than that. All of you are more than your erection.
Yeah.
But
No, I understand that.
We know that. Yeah.
I mean,
but then you have things that
please.
you go in the corner store, right? They have rhino pills.
Don't take
Men
any of that.
using honey packs. You see, because if you don't perform, then you're worried about your reputation in the bedroom.
Well, and that is something that's recently happened to people that we know, that I know, where they make too much of a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you as a woman that I'm very well aware of the fact that the way that my body functions, how I feel, my hormones, my thoughts, all of that is going to be very different depending on what's going on with the foods that I eat, the medicine I'm taking, where the stars are aligned. We're very much aware of that. I think a lot of men aren't. I think a lot of men think that we think that they're supposed to just be like A, B equals C. Like that's, and it's not. And the more you can have those conversations, the longer term you can have a good sex life with someone. Because
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because you're more
But
than
what
that.
woman acknowledges that she gave whack that night? The guys all the time, man, I had whiskey dick that night. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like niggas will say, man, niggas will say that, but ain't
Guys
nobody
will say that.
Guys.
Okay, guys will say that. But yeah, like ain't no woman like I'm sandpaper tonight. I ain't gonna, my shit is whack.
Well, let me tell you another reason why you might not hear that is because we also very much value and know that how we feel here doesn't always match up with
Definitely.
how we feel down here. So we're very much, and I think there's one in there. Lubricant is really important,
Yeah.
and having lubricant by your nightstand and having it just be a part of your intimate care routine is really important for men too.
Lou?
Now we hold on now.
Time out, T-Mark.
Now we talking to people in relationships and people out here in these streets now. Now, would it be weird if you out in these streets and you got a young lady and you just got all this stuff and you putting lube on and she gonna hold on, what you mean?
You can
Would that-
say,
wouldn't be-
I like this. I think it'll feel good for you too. And it's clean and it doesn't have any ingredients that might hurt you. Like that's something that's somebody who's a lover, who's conscientious, who cares. Now they might say, well, can I read about it first before you put, or whatever. But I think that and like having accessories, I kind of want to get into the giveaway.
Okay, let's see what the giveaway is.
I used toys before.
Let's see
like
what the
on my
giveaway is.
30th birthday, my partner, he sent a birthday package for me, and it was a whole bunch of sex toys. But it was crazy because he sent it to my mom's address.
She kept it.
And no, hell no.
Hold on, man. Hey,
And so, like, I got it, but it was still weird. He was like, bro, because it was Dirty 30, and now him and his wife sent it one night. And I was single at the time. And I used some of the joints. Like, I used nipple clamps on the young lady. She liked it.
this is all for the woman.
Yeah, it was stuff to use for the woman. I'm not like for toys on me, I'm good
This
on
is
that.
what you like.
I
Okay.
don't.
I don't
So
want nothing
this
extra.
is it's a double-sided vibrator. One side has a little bit of the vibrating and one doesn't.
That's for her, right?
It's for anyone. This is
What
for
does that do?
anybody. This is
What
for
does that do for the guy?
anybody. So that can your prostate, that the taint
See,
area.
that's
Let
what y'all
her
saying.
finish. Let her
Isn't
finish.
that- what did the do for the guy? Let me tell you.
Let her-
So inside of your anus, in your rectum,
That's what they try
there
to say.
is your prostate. You can feel the prostate area by putting your finger in.
We get it.
And go like this.
Yeah.
And there's something that feels a little bit like a
Just
walnut.
violating though.
No, that's
Why are you
that-
holding it like that?
Oh, my bad. Holy shit. My bad. But yeah, I'm taking
Okay, what
that.
else? What else we
I'm
got?
taking that.
And this-
anyway,
what she's saying is fact.
And so when you
It is,
vibrate,
but
and
ain't
Go ahead.
But I ain't done
it's called
it.
milking the prostate, and
We get
sometimes
it.
you
We
might
seen
need to
Road
do
Trip.
that later on. Oh, and so that can be very exciting for men to have a different sort of orgasm that way. It can be
Taking
very
this off.
powerful. Having an intimate skin. He's stealing it. This is for y'all. This
No.
is for y'all.
Yeah, no one's stealing anything. We just talking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
I'm taking this home.
Intimate skin cleansing. This is great for anyone's
for a pedicure?
genitals or your toys.
Let me see that.
This is
What
it's
is
a
it?
foaming wash, and you can use it on your genitals, and you can use it on your
Oh, the
toys.
wash,
so make
yeah.
sure that they're nice and clean.
Ah, I
your
like
toys.
that.
And this is a sensual pleasure oil. And so you can
Get a
check
good
that out.
stroke off.
And whose brand is this? Is this your brand?
So, no, it's not my brand.
Okay.
But I am their resident intimacy expert at Bloomy.
Okay, Bloom.
It is like clean standard by European standards, which means it has been tested. It is tried and true.
European's
It's only
freaky.
got like natural, really great organic ingredients. Her name is Rebecca Alvarez Story. She started it and with a co-founder. And she's a first generation Latina, just
Okay.
like myself. And she's brilliant. She's a sexologist and she really wants intimate care for everyone. And this is what she's doing. She has a whole line. Check it out. If you use the code Dr Viviana, Dr.
Okay.
Viviana,
Dr.
you
Viviana.
get 10% off. Check it out.
Okay.
And then, of course, I have a signed book.
Of course.
Yeah,
I already have a
yeah.
signed copy, so this is my
We do as
signed
well.
copy here.
And
So
y'all
we
can
should.
share whatever code y'all want, and we'll make sure that y'all get.
So we're gonna make sure we're gonna give this away. I don't know why he's just trying to take it. This is for the
taking it.
audience.
I'll
Let's give
send
it
you
away.
something.
This is for the audience.
I'll send
give it
you
away.
This is for the audience. So y'all, we need to DM. What can we do to make sure that they DM us or something?
This ain't gonna be in
Yes,
there.
it is. What are we
She's
gonna
about to
say?
get used tonight.
We need to come up with a
Oh, your
code. What is it?
prostate
I'm going about
The
to be.
people in here are not eligible.
I'm about to be
people in
celebrating
here
my
are not
Lions win
eligible.
tonight.
with a prostate
But,
vibrator.
yeah. The people
Roar.
here are not eligible. That's not how it works. You
What
already
the hell
got
is wrong with this nigga,
Maybe-
man?
How about they have to subscribe to each of our YouTube channels?
That's a good one. Yeah, subscribe
And
to
they
the
need
YouTube
to
channel.
tag someone they want to use this stuff with in our Instagram.
That's
posts.
That's
Oh,
it.
shit.
So tell people your YouTube and all that again because we know you're building that channel up.
Yeah, everything is at Dr. Viviana. Spell out Dr. DoctorViviana. I am trying to do my best to get all of my best tips out there for people. And of course, YouTube is a great way to do that.
So it's Phil.
I got one last question, and I want to get your opinion on it. So I'm gonna paint this picture for you.
Okay.
What's the young man name with Drea?
Jalen Green,
Jalen Green. Jalen Green is 21 years old, right?
21,
21 years old. Drea is how old?
38.
38. And they've been dating or whatever. And there has been whispers about them having a baby. What are your thoughts about things like that?
Like the age gap?
The age gap, yeah.
Yeah.
Just the whole picture painted.
I think, sometimes people, it really just depends. I don't know their situation, right? So it's hard. But with an age gap like that, what you want to make sure that you're addressing is.
This guy's in the NBA, by the way, and he's
So he's
getting the
got
bag.
resources. It's not
Yeah,
like.
He's a
She
bag
does too.
getter.
She does
She does too, but
Okay.
he's the bag getter.
And she's fine.
And she's fine.
Okay, great.
I'm just trying to paint the picture for you.
I think that what they need to be most concerned about is what's going to happen in 20 years.
Yeah.
But the truth is, we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if they're in love, if they have a plan, if they have resources, if they're going to do their best to be great parents, even if they have to spend a lot of time separately, as a lot of athletes do, I have a lot of professional athlete clients, they have a lot of the same issues that maybe engineers or people who are in politics and everybody's got issues. As long as they're happy and they're not hurting each other, I'm all for it.
Bingo.
That's
Dr.
the
V,
answer.
I wanna say thank you because your advice is gonna help me, right? I want you to be at my wedding when it happens.
I can officiate your wedding.
Come on now. Come on now.
Yes.
It's
we
gonna
were
happen.
already at
I
it.
was almost at the finish line a
Ain't gonna
couple
lie.
years ago. I'm planning on getting back there.
Well, I do have a premarital counseling program on my website, drviviana.com.
Okay.
And I've been doing that for years. But it's, again, premarital counseling, that's one of those things that you don't have to be getting married. You could be recently married, whatever. But these are questions that you should know about the person you're trying to build a life with.
Yeah.
And you can do it on your own. I think it's only like $79. It's like nothing. But I think it's really valuable and everybody can learn right from the very beginning.
So people can follow you on all platforms again at what?
Dr. Viviana. Spell out
Doctor spelled out.
Mhm,
Okay.
Viviana.
And then if they want to get in touch with you for some of your consultations, et cetera, go to your website.
They can go to my website, drviviana.com. They can go to Houston Relationship Therapy. I have all sorts of options. It's after so many years of doing this, like I want to reach more people.
Yeah.
It's difficult to do that when I have a private practice and I'm like there all the time. But I'm always trying to come up with new ways to really help people that maybe aren't going to be able to sit across from me.
No, we like that.
that's
We like that. We like that. So these products, again, we need follow her YouTube channel,
Yes.
our YouTube channel. Well, they're probably already following ours if they're
But
on it.
we
But
got to bring hers
in too.
ours
Yep.
Yeah.
Follow her channel, our channel, and then what you say? Tag
They
someone.
need
Tag
to
the person they
tag
wanna
the person.
use it on.
Yes.
Okay.
On whatever
Messy.
post we have. We'll see.
Or whatever post.
Because
Yeah.
we're going to do
We'll come up with a collaborative post.
Yeah.
And if they follow that, then that might meet the people in the room too. They can be a part of it.
And we'll throw in a little code for 20% off of
Okay.
my book or my ebook. My audiobook is coming out too. So
Read by you.
yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. So we'll be able to do that 20% off and these several products that we see on the table here today.
Hey, we didn't go over our results.
Oh yeah, last thing, because I know I know you gotta
everybody
go.
take the quiz, forintimacystyles.com. It's a free quiz that'll help you to realize what percentage of each of the 4 intimacy styles you're currently at, because the goal, if you want to be a good lover for a long time and be satisfied, is to have as close to 25% of each of those.
Okay.
That's called rounding out your intimacy style. That's the goal. So you are very much
I'm
heavy
40
on the
giving
bonding
and bonding.
and giving.
Yeah.
Which means you need to do a little bit more release and a little bit more responsive. And in the book, at the very end of it, I'm also coming up with a companion course that can give you specifics on how to do that.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
heavy on giving and bonding too.
Oh,
Okay.
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 So mine was I'm 47% I'm giving, 29% I'm bonding, 18% I'm release, and 6% I'm responsive.
Okay, so that part, and maybe you can talk to your wife about it tonight, but what that usually means if somebody's so low on responsive is that you aren't giving that space for someone to show you that they want you or to be the one to initiate, because you're kind of always there and ready. Like you're always the one that tends to be like,
Bricked
let's
up.
have sex.
Well, hold on. You just but you just heard ours. We're low on that too. So is that like a guy thing to provide
Good
and
question.
protect?
It can be
where's
when
the
you
blue tool,
prioritize physical intimacy, which is super important. Obviously, this is what I do, but it can come across to your partner like you got it handled. Like you're always going to be on top of it. They don't need to step up. They don't need to show that they want you because you're already there. Like you've got that covered. Like if somebody were to say, well, I know I'm good looking. And then it doesn't mean that ends up looking like they don't need compliments or they don't appreciate them.
How do one tap into to be more responsive?
That's going to be the companion.
And not. Is it more valuable to be more responsive or more giving?
No, she said 25% on
You
all.
want to try to be
Oh,
equal. on
okay,
each
I'm
of them.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
25%
book
on
will
all.
help to understand why that is and how to do that. I think for the people who have read it and have given me reviews, what they think is like, oh my gosh, I feel like you were talking about us.
Yeah.
Was this us? I'm like, I've never met you. But it's very common. It's a very common experience that people in long-term relationships are experiencing. You're not alone.
Yeah.
And if you're having any trouble there, or if you want to avoid trouble, get the book.
All right, Phil, did you get yours yet? Are you still?
it's I'm clicking in now. Okay, so 33% I'm giving, 27% bonding, 27% responsive, and 13%.
Oh, he almost
You're
close.
almost there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
You know, that's
You
why
could
she
Hey,
was
but
shaking.
also, but look,
That's why she
the
was
questions
shaking, man. I
was
ain't gonna lie.
rooted into the questions was rooted into like first dating, like just dating. Like we are responding in our marriage realm. He's responding in his dating
Man,
realm,
hold on, Rudy Ray Moore.
right?
Listen, bro.
No, I see what you're saying. And I have heard people say like, oh, but what if you've been in a relationship for a long time? It doesn't really matter because we're always doing things similarly.
Definitely.
We're always trying. I mean, hopefully you're going out on dates. Hopefully you get excited about that. But I am asking people to kind of tap into what if you were in this situation, even if it's been a while since you've been in it.
All right, that's Dr. Viviana, y'all. We appreciate you coming. Thank you again. And
So fun.
everybody, follow her YouTube, follow our YouTube on our collaborative post.
Yes.
You got to tag someone that you want to use what's that called?
This is indulge.
Indulge
This is cleanse. And then we have the pleasure oil.
and pleasure oil.
Yeah, this one is desire. And then, of course, you'll get a signed copy of my book.
What you
Okay.
think I should use, Dr. V?
Have you used these products?
I don't want to use this one. I'm telling you now.
Okay, but you can use this on other parts of your body. You don't have to. You can use it like on your balls. You can use it outside of
Have
like,
you used these products?
Have I?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
They're amazing. This one is in every one of our bathrooms at our house. I have kids. Everybody
what's
needs
up.
to be making sure that they use the right pH for cleansing.
Yeah.
Soap. I know some of you men, if you've had soap in there, you know
Right.
it's because it's not supposed to be there.
Right.
So this is really good. And then
What about
the
that
pleasure oil, what's great about this one is that it uses very, very natural ingredients to create a warming sensation. So again, great for all over. It doesn't just
It
have
ain't
to be
icy
your
hot,
genitals.
is it?
No, don't ever put icy hot. Actually, don't ever use any of those lubes that make you hot or cold. That is painful. Don't do it.
This is a joke,
All right,
man.
that is
God
episode
damn.
282. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're out.